Algo trading is easy. In fact, it's much easier than trading technical analysis once you understand this concept that I'm about to talk to you about and use software that looks like this to create strategies for you. So let's get into the video. Okay, guys, so this presentation is called The Easy Way to Algo Trade, and it works on prop firm capital, it works on your own capital. And just to show you as well, some recent wins from some of our community. There's lots and lots of wins, but someone getting their first payout ever from lots of manual trading to their first time algo trading, and another guy who has basically had a bit of a bumpy start, but now is getting some pretty decent payouts from FTMO. So that's what this presentation is about. Now, this is going to be, once you see this, you can't unsee this, because there's a lot of misconception around algo trading. And there's an old way of doing things, and there's a new way of doing things. So most people think that algo trading is complex, and I would agree with you. Historically, it is complex. It would have taken months to code, and that's if you know how to code. It requires deep programming skills. There's no guarantee it works because you come up with an idea, a thesis, and then you go about building it. It's error prone. There's limited amounts of back testing, and more than anything else is a high barrier to entry. But what we're talking about today is the new way. And it's a way that allows you, the average trader, to get a piece of the algorithmic pie. There's lots of videos on my channel about why algorithmic trading, I believe, is better than manual trading. So this is not that. This is how to actually do it in an easy way. And that's through data mining, fully automated. There's low skill required. If you can point and click and drag and drop, that's fine. And you can build it in minutes, not necessarily months. And there's lots more to come in this presentation. So this is the process that we go through to create algorithmic strategies. It all starts with data. Then we generate strategies automatically. Then we filter those strategies for noise. Then we robustness check them or stress test them to try and break them. Then we build portfolios, and that's the key, and I'll get back to that in a second. We don't just rely on one algorithm, we rely on many. Then we automate the process and we monitor. So again, I've just shown you these two results. There's many, many more in our community. You can see links somewhere below this video to that. Now, this involves no charts. There's no coding. It's not complex. It's an automated process. The skill set in this type of trading isn't coding. It's not even trading. It's portfolio management. And I'll get into that in a second. And you let machines do the heavy lifting for you. And we do it using software that looks something like this. So I'll get into this in 1 second. I just wanted to give you an introduction. Now, historically, when you're trading algorithms, or when you're trading manually rather, there's two different types of people. There's the gambler, and then there's the house. And the house always wins. A gambler predicts the next move. It bets everything on being right, driven by emotion, and lives and dies by luck. And that's what most manual traders sort of live, is this gambler. Whereas the house, or the casino, works off a small known edge. It plays thousands of bets, and knowing that it relies on edge over time, and it's process over prediction, and emotion is completely removed. Because at the end of the day, the gambler is the one with the emotion, the house has its rules. So that's the way that we build algorithms. Now, it all starts with one thing here, data. Now, what's data? Data is the markets that you're trading. How long and what exact markets, whether it's FX, whether it's gold, indices, whether it's stocks, and we tend to trade all of these different types. And what time frames are they on? Is it on an hour chart? Is it daily? How far back is it going? So it all starts with data. And a good example for this is a world-class chef can't cook a great meal from rotten ingredients. Before they even or ever switch on the stove, they obsess over sourcing the best. So this is where most traders actually go wrong, is the data part. They might backtest manually. You might have a strategy and you look at a chart, you go back 50 different trades and you say, hey, it won 30 out of the 50 trades. But that's just a weak backtest. It all has to be data driven, and everything that we do starts with data. So once you have the data, we then generate strategies. Now, I showed you this up here. This is one of the softwares that we use that basically comes up with strategies for us. There's no need for us to think anymore to come up with a strategy. The strategy ideation process is already done for us. So think of it like a conveyor belt. And there's lots of different types of strategies here. We have trend strategies, we have mean reversion, momentum, breakout. And based on the data that's going into it, the machine and the frameworks that we input into it, it'll tell us which strategies are best for that asset and that time frame. So once we have the data, we put it through the machine and it will generate strategies for us. There's no need to come up with the strategies ourselves. Now, at the initial stages, we're just looking for volume. We're looking for lots of strategies that are just profitable. It doesn't matter by how much, they just have to show a profit over the course of the backtest, maybe 10 years backtest. Even if it's a profit factor of 1.1, it doesn't matter at this stage, we're just trying to generate volume of strategies. And again, when Edison built the light bulb, he didn't dream up the one perfect filament and nail it first try. He tested thousands of materials, watched almost all of them fail, and kept hunting until a few worked. Most traders do the opposite. They look for one magic indicator or setup and they fall in love with it. You see these cults of people who are obsessed with a certain type of trading and they don't deviate from that at all. Then that's when most people get tripped up. So at this stage, we generate the strategies. And again, the machine does that because going back to my analogy at the start, we are not traders, we are portfolio managers. So once we generate tens of thousands of strategies, the next is the filter. We want to filter the noise. We want to reject as many as possible. And we can add in, again, to the software, we can add in certain filters. Like it has to be a certain return to drawdown. It has to have a certain amount of trades taken in the back test to make it statistically significant, and a bunch of other stuff. Again, all done through the software. And a good analogy is, imagine X Factor or Pop Idol, one of these talent shows, and there are thousands of auditions. The judge's entire job is to ruthlessly reject the ones who can't perform, so the handful with real ability can rise to the top. Most traders, they do the reverse. They cling to a losing strategy, hoping it'll come good. It's like a judge keeping score of every tone-deaf singer out there out of sympathy. The real skill here isn't what you keep, it's what you're willing to throw away. So the next stage, again, of the evolution of generating strategies automatically is filtering the crap from the noise. The next phase is robustness. And it's probably the most important part. And the best way to think about robustness is stress testing, is trying to break strategies. And here's a little visual that'll show we have a paper airplane that we've built. Most people will just try to test the paper airplane in one condition, in maybe some wind. But what if we throw some foreign objects in there? What if we threw some rain and hail? So we have to stress test it in many different scenarios to make sure that the paper airplane is robust, that it can fly in lots of different conditions. And this is where most algo traders specifically go wrong, is they generate a strategy, but it hasn't shown robustness in lots of different environments. So, for example, before a car ever reaches the road, the manufacturer smashes it into walls, it freezes it, it breaks it, and shakes it for thousands of miles, deliberately trying to break it in conditions far worse than normal driving. That's why you see these crash test dummies all the time and flying into walls, etc. A car that only looks good in the showroom is worthless. Most traders test the strategy on very recent past, in the last year, for example. So it looks nice. There's a nice, pretty linear equity curve. But that's not what robustness testing is. And in fact, the skill set in this type of algo trading, again, is management more than anything else. But the vast majority of work should be done at this stage. Now, once we have found strategies, once we've found a bunch of strategies that work on lots of different assets, going back up to the data section, there may be some on FX, some on gold, some on indices, some on stocks. Once we've found those strategies and we've put them through robustness testing, they're shown in lots of different market environments that they still show a profit. We can mimic stuff like the 2008 crash, we can mimic the rate hikes, we can mimic lots of different adverse, high volatile environments to try and break them. The strategies that pass are then added to a portfolio, so that we're not relying on one strategy. This is the biggest problem when you see bots advertised online, people selling bots. It's always on one asset, and it's always on one or two strategies. That's just having all your eggs in one basket. And having that approach in trading, in my opinion, is limited. So think of a portfolio like you're combining many, many different strategies in a team. So this is a soccer or a football team here. You have the goalkeeper's liquidity, then you have momentum strategies, trend strategies, breakout, carry, macro, mean reversion, arbitrage, seasonal, correlation. It's not the one-star striker. It's not the one-star player that gets them to the championship. It's how they all interact together. Because markets are cyclical, things change, volumes change. So when there's a trend environment, mean reversion strategies tend not to do so well. So you may be losing in some strategies, but the trending or momentum ones are really kicking in. So that's the benefit of, again, of having a really balanced portfolio with lots of different types of strategies. And again, going back to an analogy, it's the one I just said about the football players. Most traders bet on one strategy, on one asset. And again, that's not my way of doing things anyway. And the last part of the process, and it's the most important, and it's algo trading in a nutshell, is to automate the whole process, is to remove the emotion completely. The vast majority of commercial pilots, the only real part that they have to fly, the only part that requires a lot of skill from them is takeoff and landing. The rest of it's all automated. So a long-haul pilot doesn't white-knuckle the controls for 9 hours. They set the autopilot, which flies more precisely than any human ever could. So, and that's the whole point of algo trading, is to remove the human completely, is to base everything on data, on robustness and diversification. Those three things, data, robustness, and diversification, are the things that allow me and my clients to break through in our trading and get the results that we've been looking for after a long time of failing manual trading. So I hope that diagram illustrates better the process of creating strategies with software and tools and data. There'll be links on my channel to other videos that show me walking you through that, the breakdown of it. But if you want to see how we do it at a deeper level, there's a link below this video, above this video, or around this video where you can go and check it out.